Hello, everybody. It is GK McElhaney here.
And Dark22 here.
And welcome to a Five Nights at Freddy's 3 discussion video.
Whoa! We have never even mentioned Five Nights at Freddy's before. How do we know about this?
Well, the other day, I don't know if it was the other day, a lot of people said that it was on Monday at really late, and some people are saying it's Tuesday really early. I'm not really sure when it came out, but Scott released the trailer, and on Greenlight, the backstory.
It was pretty, it was Monday, I think.
Yeah, probably
2 days
Monday.
ago.
It
was 2 days ago, and it was...
That was Monday, since today's Wednesday.
What I know.
He made a Greenlight page, told everything you need to know about it, put the trailer and a bunch of images. The image you see now is not one of the ones that he posted, but it's one of the ones people edited. So, yeah, that's how we know about it.
Yes, we do have knowledge of the first two games, so
yes, we do.
It's complete news, so we know everything.
And by the way, we are not discussing the first and second game. We might have to a little bit, but this is going to be solely focused on what we think Five Nights at Freddy's 3 has to offer.
Yes.
So,
where should we begin?
Let's begin on the backstory.
Alright.
Every single person that has seen this, before I've explained it to them, thinks that this thing is Golden Bonnie or Golden Freddy. It is not.
I'll explain it. So basically, in the description of the Greenlight page, you see a small little sentence or two that describing...
That's like 3 paragraphs.
No, I'm talking about a certain sentence.
Oh, well, read, just talk about the whole thing, because they need to know the backstory and everything.
So the whole thing, so it kind of tells the backstory a small bit, but not the whole full backstory. It tells little parts of it.
Because Scott would never do that, guys, honestly.
No, not until the game's released. But anyway, so the first thing we know is that it's 30 years later, obviously, so it's in the future from now.
How do we know it's 30 years later?
Well, it says, literally the first sentence, 30 years after Freddy Fazbear's Pizza has closed its doors. So... Also
on Scott's website, I think it was like the third or second teaser was 30 years later.
That wasn't a teaser, it was a message hidden in the source code for his website, but I guess that still counts.
Oh, I thought he wrote hi and I'm back in there.
No.
Well, he did write...
Yeah, I think he did. I don't know.
He wrote hi, I know that.
Yeah. Anyway, so after 30 years, Freddy Fazbear closed his doors, and then in the description we see it was bought by a company called Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction, which means this place is scary. So Fazbear's Fright, we don't really know anything about that because it was never explained in the first two games or anything, so it's a whole new concept. So it's bought by another company, and it's apparently a horror attraction, so they're trying to get spooks.
Okay. I'm going to tell about the hybrid and why we know it's a horror attraction.
Yeah.
So this thing that's on screen right now, forget about the Foxy head for right now. This thing, we don't know what his name is yet, but the fan base has dubbed him the hybrid. Here's why. It says in the little description, here at Fazbear Fright, we tried to find all the bits and pieces that weren't discarded or destroyed or decayed back when Freddy Fazbear was closed and tried to put them together into one frightful mess. The attraction now has one animatronic. This hybrid is all the old with the animatronics from the first game in one. And that's why it's so mangled, because it's all the mangled parts.
And we're not talking about the toy animatronics, or Balloon Boy, or the marionette. I don't know how he...
And also, and the box in your office with the toy animatronic masks, I honestly don't know why those are there, but we'll get to some theories later. But, yeah, as you can see by this picture, this is the hybrid. He's not Golden Bonnie, he's not Golden Freddy, he's not any of those. Also, you can see the Foxy head. And in some of the pictures, you can see, like, Freddy head with glowing eyes. That's how we know it's a horror attraction, because a horror attraction would have things
Also,
like that.
Says that in the description.
Yeah.
We're not that stupid.
So yeah, that's why we think this thing is the hybrid, and why.
Because you can see it has Bonnie's ears, Freddy's kind of face shape. I think it has Chica's body because it was a little round.
It was chubby.
And then I think it might have Foxy's foot. We're not sure because we haven't seen the full hair.
No, I don't think it does. Cause you can see it on the ground.
Oh yeah, you can see it in the box.
Yeah, and you see it like, and it doesn't have a hook. But you know what? I do not believe that this is the only animatronic.
Me either.
Here's why. You know Scott Cawthon. He always gives us things to look forward to. He never gives us full backstories. He never shows off all the jump scares in the trailer. He never gives us any of that. So why would he do it now? I don't think he did. I think he wants us to believe that there's one animatronic, and there's one jump scare, and there's one thing to look after, and there's really more than that.
But, see, if there was one animatronic, it would be pretty much pointless, as in there was nothing to keep you off of the cameras.
Also, those horror animatronics, I don't think they're animatronics. So when it says it has one animatronic, I don't think it means the horror attractions.
I think it has an animatronic.
I think those horror attractions are also going to come for you, as well as this hybrid.
So, for example, the Freddy little light thing.
Which you see in a picture of the hallway.
He's still there. He just has a little light in his eye. That doesn't mean he's fully disabled.
And he's probably not an animatronic. He looks more like a statue.
Yeah.
But
okay, you go on.
But I just thought of this off of my mind, but this is why I think they're coming. Because remember that the suits from the first game are the things that are haunted by the children, right?
Yes.
These are the suits from the first game. I think they're just suits, but they're still haunted by the children.
And remember, some of you are going to say, oh no, because in Five Nights at Freddy 2, they're all withered and decayed. Well, that's a prequel.
And those are totally different animatronics as well.
Those are from Fredbear's.
Well, we don't know that. They're probably from
the previous location.
They're from the Fredbear's that was left. No, they're from the Freddy Fazbear's that was left to rot. Because in Fredbear, it was just Fredbear.
Yeah.
Because the Give Cake minigame explains that.
So let's go into gameplay.
Yes.
What we think the gameplay will be like. Now,
you give your
something I came up with. You might see a screenshot come up right now as there's a little screen.
No, I can't show it. I'm sorry. But
that's that. Okay. Anyway, so if you go to the Greenlight page and you can see the gameplay screenshots, you can see one where there's a screen with 3 options. I can't remember exactly, but I think
ventilation, sound system, and cameras.
Yeah, audio system, camera system, and ventilation. So that might be the thing that keeps us from watching the cameras all the time and making it just pointless. Because in the first game, we had Pirates Cove that had to keep us on the cameras. Second game, we had the marionette, and he
kept us on the cameras.
Yeah. So third, this might be it, because there's an distraction to make the game, hard and not just a little pointless game. So you
kind of went over what it means. I think I'm going to go over what it is.
Yes.
I think the 3 options that show up are obviously going to be important game aspects, but I think after a certain period of time, they're going to shut off. And there might be a monitor or something you have to click on that'll bring it up, and you have to restart them, and probably not power, but probably it takes time to restart them. Since we didn't really see any buttons or any power thing, we can assume there's no power. So it probably is like the Marionette's music boxes where it takes time, but there are 3 Marionette music boxes plus probably 4 animatronics, plus this thing.
The hybrid.
This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, but if there actually is power in this game and we just haven't seen it yet, then that system could take power to reboot it.
Which would be even more difficult.
And as you can see, there's an option called Reboot All.
I think that only shows up when they're all error, because in that picture they were all error.
Yeah. So maybe if you click on them, it tosses power to reboot them. And if the reboot option is reboot all option is there, it will take up a lot more power than what it would usually.
But they'll all go up.
Yeah.
I don't think there will be a power system, and if they're not, I'm guessing it will be like the marionette, and there might be a little circle or a loading bar that has to go by, or something.
Yeah.
But what else? What else were we discussing? Oh yeah, fungi. There will be a fungi. It's Five Nights at Freddy's. It's made by Scott Cawthon. It won't be the fungi because it's 30 years after he died, but there will be a fungi.
It might be a different fungi.
And you know what? It will probably be some crazy, mind-blowing thing that we've never seen. My theory, after knowing Scott for 2 games, it will be Jeremy. It'll be either Mike or Jeremy.
Yeah. But we don't really know who this security guard, or even if he is a security guard, you are playing as.
I just think that. I don't know that, but I know Scott, and that sounds exactly like something he would do.
Yes. We actually don't know the name for fungi, but we kind of dubbed him, and that's what he adapted into. Everyone thought it was Fritz Smith after they saw the custom night check, but because fungi said he would take the night shift, but no, that's just another worker. It's not fungi.
Also, well, I mean, that is the fungi, Fritz.
No.
Yeah. No. Yes, it is.
No.
Scott even said it was.
When?
He said the fungi takes the night shift after you, winky face.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay, whatever. It's Fritz.
Anyway,
we still call him fungi because that's the name we've all come to know and love. But when the game comes out, and if it's not Mike or Jeremy, excuse me, don't judge.
Yeah.
And
he'll probably do something even more creative. He's a very creative person.
Yes, he is. He's a very terrifyingly creative person. By the way, I never thought I'd say this, but one of my friends at school beat Golden Freddy mode. Because he showed me the Golden Freddy plushie, and he got the star for it. And it was on the phone.
Wait, you don't get a star for it.
But with with every custom night, you know how you have the presets?
Yeah.
Around the preset, stars appear once you get it done.
Oh yeah.
And the stars are there.
No. That's from 2020.
You get that when you beat 420 in Five Nights 2. Which is weird, because you'd think it'd be Golden Freddy, but no, it's 420.
Get a Golden Freddy plushie. Which reminds me, how do you get a plushie for him if he was never even an actual character?
Well, I don't know. They're just little trinkets.
Yeah.
Okay, now, if there is more than one thing than the hybrid, there will be that one annoying thing, whether it's in the first game Foxy, in the second game Balloon Boy and Foxy teamed up. I doubt it'll be the hybrid. I doubt the hybrid can be the normal animatronics and the annoying thing and the smart guy. So that's another reason that I think there will be more. And if there is, there will be some sort of annoying game
thing that kind of distracts you or makes it,
or just totally,
it might not have a jump scare, but take away everything, making you prone to everyone.
It'll either kill you in a fast, almost unstoppable way, or it will make you completely vulnerable. And
like, so from our thing from before, like that little screen. Maybe an animatronic can shut off one of their things permanently so that you can't reboot it at all.
Kind of like in Five Nights at Wario's, where Mario comes on your computer screen and disables your cameras.
Fan games.
Fan games!
Fan games.
Let's just go over this right now because I honestly think some people still believe this. Sugar is not a thing.
It's fan art.
It was not. It was originally a fan art, which someone then stole, redesigned a little bit, named it Sugar, and then made a terrible jump scare for it and put it in their game. It is in their fan-made game. It is not at all associated with the real Five Nights at Freddy's at all. Okay, let's just get that off because that is annoying me.
Because everyone thought, oh, Sparky. Oh,
so let's see. It was a cat and a dog because Sparky and Sugar.
Sparky.
Okay, so let's see. What have we gone over? We've gone over the hybrid, the backstory, what we think will happen with all the systems.
The toy animatronics box. What about that?
Okay, here's my theory. I really don't have a base theory that I'm sure on. But I think that if the animatronics, I think two things. Either if a certain, like one of the suits, like if a Chica suit comes, you might have to put on the Chica mask, and those masks are accessible. Or if like Bonnie comes, you have to put on the body mask. But then again, they're toy, and those are the old ones, so why would that work?
Or it might be the opposite. You have to choose the one that isn't that. So, like, let's say Freddy comes or something, you might have to put on the Bonnie mask.
Oh yeah, so he doesn't think you're you.
Yeah.
Now, here's the other theory that's also, it's not really a theory, but it kind of debunks a lot of other people's theories. Those toy masks are not the ones from the second game.
They're too small.
Because, one, they're super tiny. Two, the engineering is actually pretty different on a lot of them. And three, there's no way that they would stay in perfect condition for 30 years and then a whole nother restaurant. No.
Yeah.
So, those are obviously newly made. And if they were newly made, I doubt that they wouldn't have a use.
Yeah.
They obviously kept them or remade them for some reason.
And also, Toy Bonnie's guitar is over there with them.
And it's also extremely tiny.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, you can grab the guitar and, like, smash it over their heads and kill them. I bet Fazbear Fry would get really mad at you if you did that.
Yeah. Let's go a little more depth into the trailer.
I can't really showcase the trailer.
Yeah,
so
go watch it yourself now.
Go watch it yourself. I'm sorry that I can't show it, but it's copyright reasons, and I already have a part of this cropped.
Yeah.
The trailer really. The only really thing that I can think of for the trailer to explain to people that might not understand it, the opening when it shows all the old animatronics staring out into the old pizza place in black and white, that's a flashback.
Yes.
Some people got that, some people didn't, but that's a flashback from 30 years before Five Nights 3.
Like in Five Nights 2, when after the night you get a cutscene where a flashback cutscene where you with Freddy and you're looking.
And so, flashback. There you go. Now, another thing we can cover is will it have anything to do with the old backstory? I honestly believe that it will set a whole new story, and that Freddy Fazbear and the Bite of 87 and the 5 murders and the purple guy just all going to be forgotten.
Yeah.
Because think about it, it's 30 years after that, and it's a whole different brand. Why would it stick?
Yeah. probably some new murders are going to happen,
or some new things, exciting thing is going to happen.
And also, it's not taking place in a pizzeria.
Yeah, it's not. It's the horror attraction, like we said earlier.
Yeah.
Now, on the first day, I was at school when I actually saw it, which was yesterday.
Since I'm such a fan, I saw it on the first day it came out.
I did not know about it, so I really didn't believe these guys anyway, but everyone was talking about how there was a golden Bonnie, and he was struggling in chains, and how it was the old rotten down pizza place, and no. Everyone said it was the rundown pizza place. Here's why. No one, I asked all my friends, nobody went to the Greenlight page. I was the only one who was checking the codes, trying to find anything. No one else was doing that. So, and nobody believes the real story.
And to this day, some people still think.
Yeah, and then when the game comes out, they're going to be like, oh, Gibson and Miles were right.
And
they
have even watched this.
Now, if they didn't read this Greenlight page, some of the things like, it's a golden Bonnie.
That would actually make kind of
struggling in chains. The struggling in chains thing was stupid. Everybody was saying that it was struggling in chains, which it was not. Since it's a horror attraction, I bet that's what it does in the day to look scary.
Yeah.
To scare people. But some things like it's taking place in the old rundown pizza place. I can understand why they think that, because it's supposed to look run down and scary because it's a horror attraction.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's not the old rundown pizza place. So get that straight in your heads.
Imagine all of this was said just total opposite in the game itself.
Now, when you said the marionette was in the beginning, in the cutscene, that does give us a clue for the first game, because that's the restaurant from the first game, right? If that was the restaurant from the first game, in it, there was a picture of the marionette. We now know the marionette was actually present in the first game. A lot of people think that because they see the crying children. I don't honestly think Scott planned that to be the marionette. I think that drawing indicates that it was actually in the restaurant. Because think about it. Why would there be a picture of the marionette if there was no marionette?
Yeah.
And there's also
going
a
back
DVD.
to the Dreamlight page, you can see there's one of the sentences. There's a list of items being listed, and one of them is an old paper plate ball.
Yes. It said, I think it said, it started out as a hook, a hand, and an old paper plate doll.
And empty shells.
And empty shells. I believe that the empty shells are the horror attraction suits, or the haunted animatronics, and that this hybrid is a mix of some of the old withered, maybe discarded ones, or maybe it's
just a whole new animatronic himself.
Because if Golden Freddy was actually in the first game and he wasn't an illusion, this could be Golden Freddy, but a little amped up since they gave it stuff. I know that sounds kind of stupid, but think about it.
As we just discarded, no, it's not Golden Freddy.
Well, it might be, but there's a big chance it won't be. It's yellow, and maybe the ears came off because you can see that they're kind of coming off in the second. Maybe they put some old Bonnie ears that they found on it, and it was already withered looking, so there's a chance that this is Golden Freddy.
Maybe, but I'm highly doubting.
Yeah, I highly doubt that too, but there's a small chance. But the empty shells are the horror attraction suits that are haunted, and this hybrid is some of the old withered, discarded things.
Yeah.
Like Golden Freddy.
But no Golden Bonnie.
No Golden Bonnie. I've heard that all day. People will not shut up about it, and it's not real.
The exact opposite in my school. Nobody's heard about it yet.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, like, yesterday, it was the biggest thing. Like, you could walk around the hallway, and that's all you would hear. And there were 8th graders, and 7th graders, and 6th graders. You just hear that all through the hallway.
Yeah, I was at lunch and I was like, "Did you see the FNAF 3 trailer?" And there's like, "There's a trailer for that." I'm like, "Yeah, it came out 2 days ago."
Nick did not seem excited. He heard it, he was like, "Oh, cool." But, you know, you can't get too amped up about the stuff like we are.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we've gone over pretty much.
Not everything, but a lot of things.
Well, I mean, there is one more thing that I think we can go over.
Yes.
The theory of it being a more animation-based game.
That's one we've been discussing before.
That's one we discussed the other day when it came out. The window, there's one door, and you cannot close it. But the big window and on the cameras, and since you saw him struggling a lot, I think the game, like, you'll see him walking down that hallway, or you'll see him on the window, and in the cameras you'll see him moving around, or maybe not moving, but maybe like he twitches on the cameras. And
like Bonnie and Chica in the first game.
And maybe like when you switch to a camera and look at him, maybe he'll like dart up and look at the camera.
Yeah.
Who knows? Because he's obviously going to stare at the camera. All the animatronics do that.
Yeah. If Foxy was enabled, just imagine Foxy running down the hallway, see him through the glass and sprinting through your door.
Yeah. So that's why I think it might be a little more animation based. Plus, they're actually 3D models now. We can see that by the trailer. And it's the 3rd game, and Scott's getting even better at game development. So I believe that it will be, definitely an animation based game.
Yeah, maybe not, though, as maybe he's still getting more practice for that or something.
Yeah, but, I mean, some of the games he's made are pretty advanced. Like Five Nights 2, that should take way longer than it did.
It took like 2 months, didn't it?
I know, and that was like maybe a 1.5 year game.
Yeah, it was really good.
He worked forever, though. He worked like 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
But
that's the life of a game developer.
If this is finished, which it might not be, because it's only a teaser trailer, but there's a chance that Five Nights 3 is finished.
It's not.
We don't know that.
We do.
When did he say that?
He released a discussion, the green light, not a discussion, announcement on the green light page, saying, the February 5th theory. He said, I still have a lot to work on the game.
Ah.
Yeah, so
is it February 5th yet?
No.
True. It'll probably be after that, or
maybe March or April.
But we know
that's the earliest.
But we know Scott. He loves to mess with people.
Yeah.
So, if by any slightest chance, it might not be, it probably isn't, but if by any slightest chance that this is in playing condition already, it could be out by this weekend. It's number 1 on Greenlight, really? I think if there was a vote for this to get on Steam, and like when it got enough votes, it would get on it. It would be out by probably this weekend. Yeah, and if it was finished, he would do that. It got number 1
on Greenlight only in less than a couple hours, actually.
And if he was finished with this, then he would definitely do that.
Yeah.
So if it was finished, or finished soon, like today or tomorrow, probably not, but soon, it could be out very shortly after.
But, Scott, please do not rush on this game. This
yes.
is for the greater good of both of us. You won't be sad because your game is bad and fans won't rant at you for having a bad game.
I really, really, really don't want this to be a Destiny.
No matter how long it takes, just don't.
Do not be a Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Do not be the biggest hype in the world for one of the worst games in the world. Cue angry comments section. Just take your time. It's okay. It's fine. Just take your time. You called it a teaser trailer, so we know it's not coming for a while. Just wait.
I feel like we're the only patient fans.
We are. Because everyone's like, where's Five Nights at Freddy's? It's like, you take your time, Scott. You do great. And they're like the Gordon Ramsay. Where is the game? So yeah, I think we really covered everything.
Watch the next day. There's gonna be exploding teasers, and we're gonna be like, oh, we missed everything.
Well, yeah, there's like every feature that we just said is wrong. Yeah, I will think, or
there might be a part 2 to this when we find out more.
When we find out more, if we do find out more before the actual game comes out, if it's a lot more, like a lot of information, or if it's just like another little teaser picture, if it's a lot of information, then we'll do another one. But if it's like a picture that has a 3 and shows a picture, unless it's like so hype-inducing, we're not really going to go over it.
Yeah, but one more thing. You know all the teaser images and messages we got before the game?
Mm-hmm.
They all make sense now.
They do, 30 years later.
So, the first one, the hybrid face, kind of like this. It's the hybrid saying, I'm still here. It's
all the animatronics, the suits.
30 years later, the game takes place 30 years later. Happy birthday. Wait, that wasn't one. We got the second image of all the box with all the toy animatronics.
That's in your office.
The file name was called whatcanweuse.jpg. That means what can we use to build this hybrid?
AKA the animatronics.
Yeah. And that's all we really.
But they all make sense.
Yeah, it does.
But
these are trailers that are about 50 seconds, can give a lot of information if you look deep enough.
I do not believe that this is the purple guy.
No.
One bit at all. But
his eyes are too metallic.
But here's what kind of sets that up by Scott himself. Did you see that he always does on his website?
Yeah.
It was purple.
Yeah.
That had to be intentional.
Maybe he has something to do with this game, or
maybe he's the CEO of Fazbear Fright. Dun, dun, dun. No, I actually don't know, but that is a possibility.
Maybe.
But didn't he get caught?
Yeah, he did. In the first game, the newspaper clippings.
Yeah, and if he was caught, then you can't run a business if you were sent to jail, can you? I don't think you can buy the company that you killed 5 children in, turn it into an even scarier attraction, hire another security guard to get killed by this. I don't think you can do that.
If the guy you're playing as even is a security guard, we don't even know that yet.
Maybe he's Mexican Stephen Hawking.
Engage PewDiePie jokes.
Engage PewDiePie joke, yes. But, yeah, we've really covered everything. This video's been really long, so we need to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Goodbye.